But how is all this actually going to be impacting our Indian markets in terms of the cues? We have our research team who's joining in with us, standing by to tell us how the trade setup is going to be looking like, which are the important stocks to watch out for, as well as the cues in the world of F&O. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining in with us. Vivek, let me start up with you. What is the trade setup looking like? Yesterday, it was a sea of red for the Indian markets. Today, what are we expecting?
Good morning, Mini. Like you rightly mentioned, so much uncertainty, in terms of the handover as well. Yesterday, U.S. markets, Dow Jones was the only market that managed to end in the green. But like we've been highlighting all throughout, the emergence of DeepSeek has actually ensured that quite a lot of stocks across the technology universe have seen quite a bit of a sell-off. Nvidia was the one that bore the majority of the selling pressure, seeing the biggest single-day drop ever for any stock. Along with that, quite a lot of data center-related stocks, stocks that supply power to data centers. All of these stocks across US as well as Europe saw significant selling pressure. In fact, Siemens in Europe saw almost a 20% downtick yesterday. Along with that, on the back of that, rather, you saw the Nasdaq seeing quite a bit of a sharp decline. It was also a significant risk-off sentiment across the commodity markets as well. Crude oil prices yesterday cooled off almost 2%. Now, coming to the Indian markets, like you mentioned yesterday, red all across the screen when you're talking about markets down for the fourth straight session at fresh 7-week lows. Not only that, while the benchmark indices did fall, you saw much bigger fall coming across as far as the broader end of the markets are concerned. So the mid-cap index, the small-cap index were the ones that bore the majority of the selling pressure. And remember, the advanced decline ratio yesterday was very, very weak, almost at 1:10. Which were the sectors that bore the brunt of the selling pressure? IT on the back of the development of the DeepSeek, and pharma stocks, especially pharma companies that are present in ARV tenders. Those were the entire sectors that saw significant selling pressure. Today, mixed cues coming in as far as Asian markets are concerned. GIFT Nifty actually indicating a bit of a gap up start, but it'll be interesting to see whether that can sustain once market opens.
Okay, absolutely. We'll watch out for if this green that we're seeing in Nifty implied open is actually going to be sustaining. But let's move on and get you which are the important stocks that you should be keeping on your radar this morning. We have Hormaz joining in with us for that. Good morning, Hormaz.
Morning, Vinny. And the numbers that I'm going to read out to you is more of a case of a reaction to already subdued expectations. Coal India is one of them. If you look at the numbers in comparison to estimates, they were way above their estimates. But on a year-on-year basis, every metric is in the red. Same is the case for Tata Steel. There was an expectation of a 550 crore rupee loss, ended up coming in with a profit. The exceptional losses in the base quarter were lower. But when you compare it on a year-on-year basis, the revenue, EBITDA and margins were all down when you compare it to the base quarter. Federal Bank's net profit was below expectations. Net interest income was in line. Asset quality improved on a sequential basis, although slippages saw a marginal increase from the previous quarter. Same is the case for IGL, right? It was already factored in considering the APM gas allocation cut that the numbers would be impacted. The company also mentioned the same. The parameters on a year-on-year basis are down, but the numbers in comparison to already subdued expectations were better than estimated. 361 WAM will also be reacting to results, but the bigger news is that they'll be acquiring 100% stake in BNK Securities, one of the oldest brokerages, and that will be done for a cash consideration of 600 crores plus an allotment of equity shares as well of the company. Azad Engineering will be one of them. That is, it received a purchase order for advanced high complex rotating airfoils for supercritical turbines from BHEL. Keep an eye out on that. DLF as well, because the company has sold 173 out of the 420 units at the super luxury project called Dalias in Gurugram, and one of each unit is costing around 80 crore rupees. And Tata Power, lastly, as the arm, Tata Power Solar has backed a contract worth 455 crores to supply solar power modules to the Maharashtra State Power Generation Company. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that. And lastly, let's go across to Sudarshan, who's here to tell us what's going to be happening in the world of F&O. Today, what are we watching out for there? Good morning, Sudarshan.
Good morning, Vinny. So it was another day of big fall. If you see the last two sessions, similar script has played out. On Friday also, Sensex and Nifty had fallen 1%, Nifty mid-cap index had fallen 3%, and similar move that we saw yesterday. But GIFT Nifty today is indicating a start with minor gains, or say start with gains of around 50 to 60 points. On the cash side, the flows, if you talk about, FIs have sold more than rupees 5,000 crore and DIs have bought more than rupees 6,600 crore. But the picture is not that grim if you look at the derivative side. FIs have sold, like minor sell figure of was of rupees 34 crore. they have added long positions of more than 7,000 contracts. At the same time, they have reduced short positions by nearly 31,000 contracts. And with this, FI's long exposure now increased to nearly 23%. On the client side, long exposure now stands at 70%. Also in the stock futures, if you look at, for the last 4 consecutive days, FIs have been buying. And in the last 4 sessions, they have bought more than rupees 7,000 crore. Talking about the options, 23,000 and 22,900 call have seen active additions of nearly 54 lakh shares and 28 lakh shares respectively. And on the put side, 22,600 put has seen addition of nearly 11 lakh shares. Support for Nifty is now seen somewhere around 22,750 and resistance is now at 23,000. 5 stocks that have come out of F&O ban are AB Fashion, Bandhan Bank, Can Fin, Dixon, L&T Fin. Apart from these stocks, keep an eye on banking names also after RBI yesterday announced measures related to liquidity infusion.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for that. And